And the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. We all called it. We all knew it was going to happen. Trish Stratus came down, helped get rid of Bayley.
I knew tax season was coming. Doesn't mean I feel like filing, much less writing a check.
True statement, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Roundtable Pros and Podcast. I'm your the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, joined by the mixologist himself, Mr. Chemical Julian, that dude in the chair, Shane Husky, Big Money Drew, and the legend himself, Claudio. Welcome to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, Monday Night Mayhem.
Anna Shevitz.
Can't believe the last trainee in the Jungle Boy dojo. Oh boy, we are live, pal. Welcome,
live,
pal. Yo, it's been a day, man. This is wild. Thanks, Claudio, for subscribing for the 4th month in a row.
Man,
love it. I love to see subscribers. Hey, man, look, this Monday Night Raw was
it had its ups and downs.
Submissive and Breathable were finally on TV.
I mean, Submissive and Breathable were on TV with their boy Otis. We'll get to that because I did not like the way Otis was handled today.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't like that. Shane, you need to go back down here. Boom. There you go. You feel better now?
Kind of. Just one more spot.
Hey, we also had Brock Lesnar accept his match with Omos the night.
Yes.
Okay, look.
Yes.
Look. Can we really just not be excited about this?
No, we're excited about
feel free.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled. I am thrilled.
I am happy about this.
This is all your fault. By the way, did you get the message, Julian?
Which message?
The one for you and Shayla.
Yes, I did get that message.
It's time for the main
event. It seems the time for talking is over.
That shit had me dying. I was like, no, don't do it. Fuck it, do it.
And I watched the whole thing. I
knew you would. You're a weirdo like that. I mean, I
watched
love
the
it.
whole thing. Just Mark Henry, man. You know, respect your elders. Something like that.
Smack my hey.
Drew, what you drinking over there?
What you got over there, man? What are you drinking on, Drew?
Got some product placement, Drew.
It's funny that you mention what I'm drinking right now.
And what are you drinking?
Why? Is this what you were drinking when you saw Bray Wyatt return at Extreme Rules?
Sinner,
Why?
is he here?
It looks like
Yes,
that's
it
a
is.
beverage to be drinking when Bray Wyatt returns at Extreme Rules.
Oh, he is good.
And
Fuck
you have a
So-
commemorative affair to take.
The hate between
This
Sinner
is
and Drew must be competed inside the
This
ring.
is
God damn it!
the special elixir of life. Spindrift, who doesn't sponsor me or this channel, but maybe one day.
One
Maybe
day.
one day.
Hey,
What's it called again?
It's called Spindrift.
Oh,
listen,
Ooh.
called.
You know,
It's
hey, you
true.
know when else you should be drinking that? When you're playing Raid Shadow Legends.
Rain Shadow
It's Shadow
the most
Legend.
number one downloadable game on all mobile devices.
You know what? I gotta say this before we get too far into the show. Congratulations, Drew. Congratulations.
Why?
You finally pulled yourself up by the bootstraps. You finally crawled out of that devastating, horrible 20th place. You know, the place you're always like the bottom. And what were you, second place?
Should have been me.
Dude,
I am
wasn't
number
here.
2. I am number 2.
I was
Drew
third.
is number 2.
I was finally third place.
Please refer to my biblical name, Undisputed Wrestling World Wrestling Trivia Champion, Sunday.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
Yeah. You know
Um,
what? Let me tell you something,
because
Sinner.
of you guys, I had to sit down and I had to build 3 more trivia games just to have some
Three
in the
more
pocket.
trivia.
Hey, put you this way, though. Put you this way. Drew, you have done something that no one has ever done. You started from the bottom, now you're here.
Now you're here.
Literally.
Hashtag
Started
Drake.
from the bottom, now the whole team's fucking here.
How does it feel?
But
Sunday
that's
Sinner.
cool.
That I can totally agree with you with. Thank you.
That's cool that you guys got your little win, and that's cool. But who is a four-time trivia champion? The only 4-time trivia champion.
Hey, you know
Only
what?
4
I'm
times.
even going to give you guys a little bit of a head start. I'm going to let you start studying up, start getting all your information together. We got 3 new trivia games ready to go.
3?
One is round 7, just general wrestling knowledge of all. You know, it's got NXT, WWE, WCW, New Japan, even some Impact.
Oh shit!
Oh,
now
man.
we got 2. Then we've got 2 special gimmick versions.
Oh,
The next one is WCW Edition Volume 2.
Oh,
WCW?
great.
WCW. Oh, WCW. And Shane,
No.
Not
did my
tonight.
best.
Not
I
tonight.
did my best to make it all WCW. That was like at least like 98 and up.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. I never watched WCW.
He's giving you a head start, Shane. He's like,
Hey,
let
man,
you
it's gonna
go.
Start watching now.
And the last
Why you guys
one,
do this to me?
you guys are gonna love this. It's the Jobber Edition.
Yes!
Oh,
Jobber Edition!
Parker. Buddy Lee Parker is gonna be on there a lot.
Oh man, Gilbert, James Ellsworth. Oh man,
Hey, man, I had so many jobbers to choose from that I'm gonna get at least a volume 5 out of this.
I'm only
Wow.
5.
Wow. Shit.
Eugene, shit.
Oh my god. New wrestling fan, 3 fan said, let's go. Not tonight.
I'm
Yeah.
also I have the classic Spindrift tonight in honor of the wonderful CM Punk because
He's gonna come back.
well aside
Okay.
from that
We already
But-
knew that. You know, he's
Yeah.
coming back to fucking AEW.
Yeah.
I have a bit of I guess a media scrum pipe bomb to drop on everybody tonight.
Ooh. Ooh.
You
Well, let's
have a
start.
fucking kill
Let's
brand?
start the pipe bomb from the gate. Let's go, Drew. Let's go. Drop it. Hold
We're
on,
gonna
ladies and
drop it.
gentlemen.
And
Here you
Hold
go,
on,
Drew. Pass
Hold
you
on,
the
Drew.
mic.
Hold on.
Pass you the mic.
Before
Here
you
you
drop
go.
your pipe bomb, let me
Here you go.
set this. Let me set the stage first, okay? Let me give you a little bit of a. Okay, there you go. There's your big money moment of the night. Go ahead, drop your shit.
well I consider this space to be a safe space for all of my wrestling opinions and what I deem to be not exactly popular amongst the rest of wrestling Twitter and what have you. Triple H fucking sucks as a booker, man. Like, holy shit. There was like NXT in its heyday, Triple H, that made me smile. And then there was main roster, what we always dreamed of, Triple H, that just fucking sucks.
Damn.
It's just bad. And now I will give him credit where it's deserved. No immediate rematches.
Thank you.
Better flows to show. But how many times, and I got into it, not in a negative way, because our good friend SP3 who has also been a vocal minority on the downfall of creative with Triple H in charge. I was having a little conversation with him on Twitter this evening.
Oh.
And pretty much it's just like, what the fuck is Brock and Omos doing as a match?
Thank you, Drew. Thank you.
Julian, I'm sorry, Julian.
I can tell you exactly what they're doing.
Me too.
Stinking up the place. That's what the fuck they're doing. Stinking up the place.
No, not stinking up the place.
Here's the thing. How much are you paying Brock Lesnar every year? $13.5 million.
14 million.
All right. So he's been through Bobby. Nobody wants to see him wrestle Braun Strowman. He's not going to wrestle Otis, although I think that would be the perfect springboard to kick off like an Otis heel run as like Van Vader too. But that's beside the point.
I would have loved Otis. That would have been actually pretty fun.
Yes.
So I mean, I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to put Brock with a big man, and maybe this will be the catalyst for the reformation of the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember he did kick Bobby Lashley in the nuts.
This is what it's leading up to.
Okay, look. Let's just call it what it is. It's gonna be a shit show. Drew is right. What the fuck are we gonna have this for?
We said that was
Drew.
Braun versus Omos, and look how that happened.
That is true. That is true.
We underestimated
We
that.
got a whole ass super kick out of Omos in that match.
Got a whole ass super kick. A whole ass super kick out of that match.
Drew,
we underestimated that match.
It's going to be garbage.
With a lifetime.
This time around, I tell you, man, we are going to get the Nigerian Driver 98. He's blow all your minds. Just
the Nigerian Destroyer. God damn
he's going to slap on the Lagos lock and he's going to make Brock tap like a bitch.
I'm kind of like done with Brock and Bobby. I don't need any
Bobby who?
Hurt Business involvement or any of that stuff because I don't. Sunday, what Sinner just said about the Bobby Brock story not being over yet, I want it to be. That's it. It should be. How many matches now have they had? This was like one of the most desired matches that they only had like 2 actual finishes in between 4 matches.
Yeah, it's because Brock will not take that like legit.
He won't take that L.
Yeah.
So stop booking the motherfucker then.
Yeah.
Like just you got 50 friggin' you got 100 people that you bring back from NXT and you bungle all their fucking returns. But Brock has to have 4 matches with Bobby Lashley and half of them be decent. It's annoying. Like this is the stuff that I was saying with SP3 on Twitter before. It's like, what was the point of bringing all these people back? None of them have actually stuck on the main roster since he brought them back. None of them.
Yeah.
And
not
then
only have they not stuck, but they haven't made an impact. And Drew, you and I talked about this before. Like, the Triple H brought all these people up here, and it's like, what's up?
Yeah, like
I think that the most egregious return that was made that has had less than zero impact has been Johnny Gargano. I mean, I feel Gargano has been wasted. You're saying Tommaso Ciampa's still out injured.
And he is.
I thought that they were bringing Gargano back just to have the whole DIY split up feud thing on the main roster versus because of how well it did in NXT.
DIY versus Usos with a slap. Shit.
Dexter Lumis.
And again, credit where credit's due. We got rid of Nikki ASH.
Oh, yes.
You got rid of Doudrop. She's now Piper Niven. We now have Nikki Cross back. These are good things, and that I'm happy about. But it really, I mean, if you think about it, it really started pretty early when it comes to me. When, and I mentioned this too with FP3, when Damage Control lost to Raquel and fucking Aaliyah.
Yeah.
What the absolute fuck was that about?
So, you know what? When this match started tonight, I was like,
"Well, my friends will be happy about that."
Like, they keep taking these kind of serious L's. Like, is this to break them down, build them up, break them down, build them up? Because when the fans thought they were going to win, they didn't win, and you gave them to a transitional team who has done zero since. I mean, did they even get a rematch?
Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you guys in the simplest terms. Professional wrestling. Here we go. Pulling the fucking veil back. Heels hold the titles. Faces chase the heels. Faces finally overcome, win the championships. The cycle starts again. The only problem is the cycle seems to start every third fucking time they defend the titles. Quick shout out. I didn't know your birthday was today. Throwback. If it was, happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday, friend. I texted him. Yeah, it was his birthday.
Oh, happy
birthday. It's been a long day. I haven't been on social media, but happy birthday, my friend. I will shoot you a text tonight or tomorrow since Brody's asleep and you're going to bed. But shout out to Throwback. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Throwback.
Happy birthday.
We still have NXT sucks too. Happy birthday to you, my friend.
NXT sucks. So does Braun. Breaker.
But
Old man.
Faces chase the heels. Heels lose the belts. Faces win the belts. Faces hold the titles. But here's the thing that, and we've been talking about this. Me and Drew talked about it. Me and Julian talked about it. Why? I told you guys this when they announced the tag team titles this week. I said, watch. They're going to lose the fucking belts and win them back at WrestleMania. Why is it they lose the belts before a big show, go to the big show, win the belts back, and then don't defend them for like 4 or 5 months?
That makes no sense. Absolutely.
Here's a question for you.
We've seen this before, you know, in like the 80s and the 90s. So, you know, it's not like surprise booking.
No, it's not.
Here's a question for you.
Hmm?
And yes, there's going to be the whole like, oh, well, one is 900 days and one blah, blah, blah. Why was it not okay for Roman to lose at Elimination Chamber, but it's okay for the tag champions to change hands before WrestleMania?
Yeah, makes no sense.
Oh, because the tag champs are not the bloodline. That storyline.
They're not the bloodline.
Has to run.
I know that's the overarching thing is that obviously the bloodline is the thing in WWE right now, but it still is like we're trying to establish something as actually meaningful, and now a less than part-timer is holding a tag belt right now.
That kills all of her ex's moves. Oh, sorry.
Absolutely astonishing. And you know what? I don't hate Lita. I like Lita.
Me neither.
But what the hell is she doing as tag champion right now?
Okay,
absolutely ridiculous.
So I mean, I was going to get into this show, but
I disagree. Hold on a second. I disagree with this right here because in terms of the importance of the women's tag titles, they never got over. I disagree with that for the simple fact that when Sasha and Bayley were the golden role models, They took those belts. They went to NXT. They were fucking on Raw. They were on SmackDown. They were defending titles all the time. They made the belts mean something. Nowadays, the belts don't mean shit.
Nope.
Because they put the titles on people like Drew said earlier, Raquel and fucking Aaliyah. Like, why the fuck would you put the belts on those guys? No offense to them, they're good workers, but they are not tag team championship material when you got a legit tag team.
Yep.
You know, I hate when they put Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels together and they defeat DX for the tag team belts, or they put Hulk Hogan and fucking Tito Santana together and they beat Demolition for the tag team belts. Like, why would you do that? You're putting two random ass dudes who aren't tag team champions together and then taking the belts off a legit tag team. Like you take the legit tag team belts off of a women's tag team that is legit, and you put two random ass people together and you give the belts to them. Well, that makes the belts mean nothing.
Well, the funny thing is, back in the 80s and 90s, when you had tag team champions and you put a random tag team together, the whole purpose of that was for the whole, can they coexist? So that these guys would have a feud later on down the line. And
that was only in 90s thing.
That's what I remember mainly from. I think that's when they did it just as so gratuitously. So remember when you had Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels win the tag team championship.
That's a good point right there.
When you had Stone Cold and Mankind Mankind, so that he can come out as Dude Love, etc., etc. And then you had, it was always this can they coexist thing. You know, give these guys a reason to lose and fight and then, go on to the next pay-per-view kind of thing.
So like Lita and Becky
made no sense.
Were feuding less than a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Lita was off of TV the entire duration after her match with Becky. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, we're all cool now. That's just weird shit. It's just weird shit. And like, man. And then, look, and this is I'm sorry. I'm going to get real bad right now because.
Oh, no.
Because I'm drinking this.
You got that?
There was a lot of positivity. There was a lot of positivity towards. Maybe. There was a lot of positivity towards The Miz today because of the little part of a documentary that came out at some point about him eating chicken over somebody's bag.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody's bag, aka somebody who's in hell right now. And
dude, that was a long time ago.
And everyone is giving him this sympathy. And everyone is saying, oh, he deserves to be, in such a prominent spot in WWE. And then tonight, he gets announced as the host of WrestleMania.
Because he lives in Hollywood, and it makes sense.
Because he lives in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But we all wanted The Rock to have a main event match at Hollywood WrestleMania.
Well, if you want to get technical, my homeboy Andre live in Inglewood. He should be the host of WrestleMania. WrestleMania is in Inglewood.
So why didn't we want The Rock to be the host of WrestleMania since it's in Hollywood?
Because people wanted Rock versus Roman, and that's not going to happen because Rock always.
I'm going to tell you why. He was named the host. Because USA's number 2 show behind WWE is Miz and Mrs. And when the WWE doesn't sign with USA again, Miz and Mrs. is going to leave with the WWE. So now they're doing everything in their power to make sure the WWE stays on USA.
That's in their home.
Let's give you this. Let's give you this. Let's give you this. Hey, let's give you this. We don't want you leaving. Let's give you this.
Hey, they could always do roads to the top too.
Oh.
Ooh. I don't think anybody wants Brandy on TV though.
No.
But
I love Brandy Rose. So Brandy Rose is good.
It's just crazy to me because first of all, Miz as a person, cool dude. I have no issues with him
I met
at
him
all.
a couple times. Very nice.
Miz as a character, I wish was chased out of wrestling.
Well, I'll
I'm
be honest.
sorry.
The very first time Miz came around was at UPW in Southern California, and everyone was like, "This guy is a fucking reality show guy. He's not going to make this. He's gonna." We did horrible shit to the Miz. Like you talking about hazing. There was really horrible hazing for people like the Miz.
I do not agree with that, by the way.
Well, I mean, that was back in the late 90s. Okay, so that's that. But things like that happened. And I don't mean hazing like beating up and shit like that. I mean just like treating them like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like but Miz was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He plays his character so well that sometimes you can't tell if that's him or if it's not. If you want to know the real Miz, watch the Miz and Mrs. TV show.
Yeah.
The goofy ass fucking dude. That's a great guy.
Oh, absolutely not.
Loves his kids.
What are you talking about? None of that shit is real.
That's the Miz.
What are you talking about, Drew? What the hell are you talking about?
That is as real as the Chrisley shit. Okay.
Okay. The Chrisleys. I don't know how they still got a fucking show on.
Yeah, how?
When they both go in federal prison for fucking embezzlement.
Because next season is gonna be Chrisley Knows Jail.
There's Tom.
Listen.
Whatever happened to Temptation Island?
They can have Chrisley Knows Jail. You can see Dom walking in the background.
Temptation Island season 2. Fuck it.
Wait. Did you guys see the picture I sent you guys earlier?
Oh hell yeah.
Okay, so I was on Instagram, and if you guys know, like on Instagram, on Instagram and YouTube, Sheamus does a workout show.
Oh.
On Sheamus's workout show, he said, "This is the first time I've done a prison workout with the big homie ex-con Dom working out with my silly."
What in the ass?
That's hilarious.
I almost pissed on myself.
I see it. That's hilarious.
Oh, shit.
First of all, that kid has not a muscle on his fucking body.
I was one of the prison workout when you do like a thousand
Chrisley's
burpees.
crossover with the DiBiase's.
Give him time, man. He's getting there.
Chrisley knows Big Bubba. Chrisley in the cage.
Lots of herpes.
Wow. No shit. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just needed to get that out of my system because
you can
like so much shit that has happened since last year's SummerSlam has just turned me off.
Because can't watch
to the point that I don't watch this show that much anymore, which is insane to me. It's insane to me.
I still watch it
because I hate watched Vince booking the show.
Oh yeah,
I actually watched the show. I can't even bring myself to watch with Triple H in charge. It's mind-boggling to me.
Honestly. I don't know how. Did you watch before?
Yeah, did you watch it before?
Before when?
Before he was in charge.
Yeah. I was fucking watching. I was covering Raw, SmackDown, and main roster pay-per-views for cage side seats at the start of the pandemic.
Dude, I don't get it. Since Vince stopped booking and Triple H moved into that role, my level of weekly pistivity has definitely dropped off a good 50%.
Same here.
It's not that I hate everything. It's that there are so many key booking decisions that have just felt so fucking flat. And they're in storylines that involved people that I cared about. And it was just like perfect example, Drew at Clash of the Cat. I know we wanted the whole big Roman Reigns blah for the last fucking 2.5 years. But that was Drew's moment. Drew will never have that moment again. Never.
I mean, we all knew that Drew was never going to win. Come on, Neil.
Correct.
That could have been the place to start the split of the titles and not have the Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes situation right now. But they chose to just keep doing the bloodline and doing the bloodline, keep doing the bloodline. And Sami Zayn made it worth watching.
Yeah.
Because if Sami Zayn wasn't there, the whole story would have been absolute good.
So, Punk says, I haven't watched the full WWE show since November 2016, but the Sami Bloodline storyline has gotten me at least interested in the show again.
I am not surprised.
Surprised. It's like when WCW was feuding with, where was going head to head with WWE. They had Hogan, they had Macho Man, they had all these guys, but then the numbers started to dip a little bit. So they got Hall, they got Nash, they brought in Hogan, they formed the NWO, hottest thing in wrestling. It was something new. Oh my God, they were blurring the lines. People thought it was like a shoot. These guys show up and start beating people up in the crowd. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. It got you interested in watching WCW.
Correct.
But when they drug it out for so long, they started adding more people. Then there were offshoots, the LWO, the NWO Wolfpack, NWO Black and Silver, NWO fucking Hollywood, NWO Compton, NWO Long Beach.
The BWO, man.
The BWO, the TWO, the fucking SPWA, CWO, all these fucking shits. Like, when all these things started happening, it became oversaturated and people start losing.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Bloodline. The storyline's going good. Sami didn't win the championship. People were like, oh, fuck, man. Sami didn't win the championship. Great. Now we got where does Jey Uso fit in all this? Is Sami going to cost Roman win the championships at WrestleMania? Who knows? So now we still have that going. And then there's Cody. Who mentioned last week, I haven't even, the man I'm facing at WrestleMania, I haven't even met face to face. So now Cody's like, I'm going to be at SmackDown.
That's awesome. I'm glad that they're doing that.
Me too, because if they didn't do it, like, you got 4 weeks to Mania. 4 weeks now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going.
And I'm sorry, last week, I don't know if I wasn't on the show last week, was I? I don't remember.
You came on Friday.
No.
The last week's Cody and Paul Heyman promo was garbage.
Oh, it was hot garbage.
It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I think Paul was trying to do his best Dan Lambert impersonation.
That's what we call in the Northwest a Billy Moon promo.
Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
What was that, Claudio?
Claudio, repeat that again.
I think Claudio's frozen.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like, just going down that's the things that I can remember. Damage Control, amazing debut, immediately squandered by Raquel and Aaliyah winning the championship instead of them.
That was horrible.
Dexter Lumis becomes an outright fucking psychopath chasing after Miz. The payoff, Miz paid him to fucking chase him around. What garbage bullshit.
Hey, man.
Okay. Drew a Clash at the Castle.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking awful Money in the Bank blunder of cashing in on an open challenge and losing. It's just like, what the absolute F? Bronson Reed coming back? Who gives a fuck about Bronson Reed? I'm sorry.
No, shit. Continue, please. Because you're saying the same thing that I've been saying this whole time. Everyone was excited for Triple H. And I told you guys, don't get excited. Give him 5 weeks.
For what it's worth, Braun has been a decent bringback. But he's really only, and this is the funny thing, is that he's really only in the position that he's in right now because of that little spat with Ricochet on Twitter. That just is incredible to me.
Yeah.
Ali has still been squashed, not
Underused.
literally, but just like, where's Ali? And everybody was like, oh, Triple H is going to do great things with Ali. What has he done with Ali? What has he done with
Paul?
It's all about Logan Paul, and it's all about all these weird little random. You know what? The other thing that really fucking killed me was that whole, and this is his friend Shawn Michaels was involved in this one. That bringing up Solo Sikoa to the main roster with the fucking North American Championship, and then in the very next week, oh, you weren't technically in that match, but he just defended it on SmackDown. What this stupid bullshit?
And he defended it against Madcap Moss.
The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. That's exactly the way the booking is going right now. And it's like you have all the tools. Like everyone was so excited for Triple H because Triple H is a wrestling guy, not a sports entertainer. He's a wrestling guy. He wants wrestling. People are so excited about it, and then he squanders it. And I'm gonna tell you something before we get off the topic of this. Tony fucking Khan. You see, Tony Khan, what they're doing wrong. You see what the WWE is doing wrong. You see where they're fucking up. So you book the dumbest shit possible. So people will have no choice but to watch WWE.
I don't entirely disagree with you there, unfortunately.
It's fucking stupid. Yeah, that's the Booker of the Year in my fucking ass.
Ass.
Let me put it this way. If I had Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, this storyline is so fucking hot, and I had Cody Rhodes, and I know that Cody's dream was to be the WWE champion. Sami Zayn would have fucking won the Universal Championship at the last pay-per-view.
That would have been a perfect opportunity. Yes.
Or even better, Sami had to wrestle at WrestleMania night 1 for the championship. Cody wrestled night 2.
I've been booking this.
We've been talking about this for months. Split the titles up. That would have made more sense. Instead, and we all you knew this was going to happen because they kept talking about, oh, remember Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, the Montreal Screwjob.
Montreal.
I said they're going to screw Sami in Montreal in front of his family, in front of his friends, and everyone just because they keep mentioning the fucking Montreal Screwjob, and they mentioned it 5,000 fucking times that night.
And they didn't necessarily screw Sami; they screwed Montreal.
Yes,
correct.
Anything because nothing happened on that show.
Happened. So in the grand scheme of things, Triple H's booking is lackluster at best. But Tony Khan, Tony Khan, I want you to think about this. And I know people at AEW are watching this show, so I really want you to think
they are
about
definitely
this
watching
for 1 second.
Listening.
Think about this for 1 second. If you see someone fucking up and you want to be better than them, do you want to be better than them? Do you want to be better than them at fucking up even more? Man, they booked a shitty ass show. Hold my pen. Like seriously, I'll book the show to Crayon tomorrow instead of booking it. Like dude, wrestling right now has, in my opinion, taken a big fat diarrhea-induced shit. I'm not interested in anything going on. I'm not excited for AEW. I'm not excited for WrestleMania. I'm not excited for fucking. I was excited for fucking Dynamite this week. But then I was like, Tony Khan gonna probably announce him. I got a major announcement. Major announcement. Wednesday comes before Thursday. Damn. Like, oh shit. There it goes. You know what I'm saying? Kofi Wheatston, baby.
Kofi Wheatston.
Yo, what up, Kofi? I just don't understand what's going on in wrestling today. We were all so excited. Gotta go to indie show. They're excited. Yes.
I might be going to Roseland 5. No.
Indie shows are the bomb. Yeah. I just don't understand what the fuck is going on with the story. Like Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to yuck the fuck out of your yum.
Bobby Lashley's daycare, though. Come on.
The best thing that happened on that whole promo was Bobby was like, I don't play childish games. I don't play kid games. And I was like, your daycare don't play no kid games either. But that's another match that makes no fucking sense. None. And like And like Paul said earlier, with the women's title changing hands, the women's tag team titles changing hands, it would have made a lot more sense if Trish and Lita won the titles.
Yes, agreed.
For the nostalgia effect.
Now I want to know also, why didn't they do this match and Trish returning in Canada last week?
Because it would have made some sense.
Really, it's just sad.
Sammy getting added to Roman Cody match is the only way they can save this. I don't. You know what?
It's not gonna happen.
It's too late. It's too late. If they add him, it doesn't even matter anymore. And that's the sad part. It doesn't even matter anymore because you've already screwed the pooch. I mean, think about it. It's like, do you guys watch The Flash?
No, nope.
I've watched it in a while.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's an episode of The Flash where Barry has this book. Barry runs into the future and sees everything that's gonna happen in the future, right? So he writes it all down. Literally writes it all down. Goes back to the past and tells his wife, "You're gonna get pregnant in 3 months, 10 days, and $5." And she's like, "Wow!" And we already know we're having a girl and a boy. We already know we're having this. We already know this, and this, right? So there's an episode where all she has to do is say yes. And
she said no.
And her thing was, I just don't want to be told what I have to say. So she knew what was going to happen. So she was bored. Just WWE right now is doing the same thing. We already know what's going to happen. So now we're bored. It's like Triple H wrote the whole story out and was like, let's just tell the fans right now so no one wants to fucking watch. People watch WWE right now because they're programmed to. Everybody knows every Monday night, 8 p.m., USA Network, Monday Night Raw. Oh, it's a shitty show? Doesn't matter. This is my Monday night routine.
That's what my routine was. That's what my routine was for years. Mm-hmm. Years. Over 10 years now. That was my routine. Except for a slight brief period between like Hell in a Cell 2019 to the Royal Rumble of the next year. That was like, and there was also like a brief time when I was absolutely done with Seth Rollins and the Authority angle. But
I still watch that too.
other than that, it's just like I was able to completely take in and love and hate 3 hours of Raw under Vince, but I just can't do it under Triple H. Can't do it. I have not sat down and watched a full 3 hours of Raw. I can't even tell you the last time I did it. Can't even tell you.
Don't egg Sunday Center on with that.
Yeah, please. Let's not egg him on any more than he needs to be egged on. And then the last thing that I'm gonna say. I think Shane knew what I was saying when I said that. And I'm sorry to Shane right now.
Oh.
I gotta say this.
Oh.
I think he knows what I'm about to say.
My heart is broken.
I don't give a shit about Bray Wyatt right now. I don't. Sunday Sinner, I saw Bray Wyatt return at Extreme Rules.
You were there.
Oh, my heart is so broken right now. Why would you say that?
And I miss those days. I'm talking about them like they were 10 years ago. It was only 5 months ago. I miss those days because I've only seen Bray Wyatt wrestle once since then. Once.
Technically, he's only wrestled one match on TV.
Yeah, correct.
But that's the point. One time, and there's weird things with Uncle Howdy being on his side. And then Uncle Howdy not being on his side.
I would not tolerate this Bray Wyatt
and
Uncle
that
Howdy side.
garbage, pitch black pitch crap stuff at whenever that was, the Royal Rumble, right? Just garbage.
What do you think about what is just said right here about Bray Wyatt's? This is how you do a long-term storytelling wrong.
Yeah. Cancel Funky 4-5. Cancel them.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It is absolutely how you do that wrong. And you know what? I was one of the people that said Bray Wyatt coming back under Triple H means that everything that I saw while Vince was in charge meant that it wasn't Bray doing that to the Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse and all that stuff. It was Vince doing that. When they took it out of that pre-production backstage thing and they brought it into the live show, and it was like a variety hour instead of those like pre-taped creepy ass looking shot vignettes of the original run of the Firefly Funhouse. That was those vignettes running to the debut of the Fiend at SummerSlam was the best version of Bray Wyatt on the main roster. I loved that. And then Vince took it live and brought it into the variety hour. And Seth Rollins just showing up and burning it because it's just a random place backstage so you can light a match to. That whole thing, that just killed it for me. And I had hoped when Bray came back that it was Vince, solely Vince, that made it shit. But I can't tell you if I believe that anymore.
I agree, man. Julian, what do you think?
All right. So when Bray Wyatt called out Bobby Lashley last week, and I mentioned this on the show, I was like, the fuck was that about? It came from nowhere. And I get it. You're trying to find something for Bray to do. I don't think his thing with LA Knight was really all that much to write home about either. They're just trying to find something to do. But I don't think these people are like the appropriate persons for him to be feuding with. Omos versus Brock Lesnar. I mean, give Brock somebody big to fight with that he hasn't fought with yet. This is wrestling. It's a lot of those, let's take something, throw it at the wall, see what sticks. But it's not a good time to do it going into like your biggest show of the year. Although somehow they're probably going to make it work. And that's just, what happens. So onto the women's tag team championship thing. You know what? I wouldn't have a problem with Damage Control losing before the show and regaining it at the big show. But I don't know if you all were watching the same match that I was watching, but Lita's not in ring shape. I mean, she looked really like beat up, like she was hurting. And she definitely was not executing the moves like she used to. That was the worst twist of fate I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, no, her twist of fate's about it. She needs to do a finisher. She needs to
and
come
then
with
she also did this other move, which I wasn't sure. I thought maybe she was going for the stroke or something else, but it wasn't, I guess, what she had planned. Even the thing where she jumped off the back of Becky's back to do the
poetry in motion.
Yeah. That was a glorified body splash, if that. And there's a couple of the moves that she did where she just looked just not practiced or like she was hurting, like she physically wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, she looked like she was hurting.
Yeah, so like, why would you put the belt on somebody who can't perform to that degree? Because when you're defending the belt, you got to look like you're able to legitimately look like you're defending the belt and not just going through the motions or having somebody cooperate with your moves.
So two things right here. One, these types of stories make it hard for people to follow. That is true. It's almost like she's too old for this now.
No, I don't agree with that. Only because look at Sting right now. Man, 62, 63.
Yeah, I don't think she's too old for it. She literally I didn't think, oh, she's too old for this. When I was watching her move, I was like, is she hurt? Like, is she in shape for this? Because it looked like it would be like asking me to do a kip up. It ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen.
It's like asking me to do a kip up. It ain't gonna happen.
It's like when you're doing stretches. Like I was showing Shayla like the things that I was doing with my flexibility coach, and I was like, "Yeah, don't you have a hard time doing this?" And she's like, "Nope. What are you talking about?" It's like, all right.
Oh, shout out to Shayla about being accredited, bro. I saw that on her Facebook. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I commented, and I commented, congratulations, and you can't teach that.
Yeah, she worked hard on that too. That was many months of getting prepped up. She passed her flying colors, so very happy for her, very proud of her.
Oh.
And then here's a comment right here. Yes, that's the difference. Sting doesn't have a title.
Well,
even if Sting did have a title, like the level that Sting is competing at right now. This Sting right now is Sting from 15 years ago. This Sting right now is Sting from 20 years ago. Like Sting is fucking killing the game. Like no lie, Sting jumping off fucking bleachers and shit. Like what?
And the reason why Sting is performing at that level is because he's not overexposed. Sting comes out, wrestles a match every, I don't know, what was that? Somebody saw Sting.
Last pay-per-view.
He only comes out
which is like 4 times a year. So
so he has a limited schedule. He probably gets fucked up and has to go home and heal up, but he's got the time off.
He just did a 6-man tag team match in Japan with Muda.
I mean, I think that a lot of these storylines are going to be able to move forward once the title gets off Roman. However, they do need to create an avenue for either the titles to get split, or B,
make a brand new
unified one belt. You're not carrying around 2 belts.
Winged Eagle.
It's one belt, and you just defend it the way it's supposed to be defended.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. Oh, go ahead, finish.
Because I was going to say, because the titles have essentially been on a part-timer. And forever. I get it because of his health, and they're probably just trying to keep him healthy until he can get to Mania, and then go ahead and, and drop the straps. It's just like they probably would have preferred for Cody to not have gotten injured, because he probably would have challenged for the title before now.
Yeah, I mean Cody's injury probably did set back some of the bloodline stuff.
Yeah,
which I can't take that away from the booking, because that's just shit that happened. But
that's just wrestling.
But the problem is that you shouldn't wait for something to happen. Like I'm gonna tell you now, Jade Cargill should not still be champion right now.
Being bad.
Just because Chris Statlander is supposed to take it off of her. That's a year almost of Jade holding a title just to wait for Chris Statlander to come back and finally have the match. Like, what? You got to change it up. You can't just,
I thought they were trying to get Jade to 100-0 or 99-0.
No, Statlander was supposed to win the title from her a while back, but she was in that.
I think it was like last year's Revolution.
It was like a 6-woman tag team match against the baddies, and it was her, Willow Nightingale, and I don't know who the fuck the person was, but she got hurt. She messed up her knee, and she was out again. And when you tear a meniscus, that's 6, 7, 8, 9 months.
Right. So now the thing I was laughing about before was, I feel like I already know what's going to happen. I feel like Cody's going to win at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
and then the next night on Raw, he's going to go, this blue thing. I don't need this. I'm vacating this. And could you imagine what everyone, so many people who have said, "Oh, this story matters with both titles," because who wants to just split up the title? I know. I've heard guys on Grapsody say this. I've heard John Alba say this. Of like, it's got to be for both titles. But what is Cody going to do with both titles?
It doesn't need to be for both titles.
Correct.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Look. This whole SmackDown having a champion, Raw having a champion. Like these titles are network titles. USA was like, we need a champion over here, and then Fox was like, yo, we want a fucking champion too. So they created these two fucking belts, right? They're like, oh, we'll have a champion over here, brand split. Then they were like, put the belts on Roman because we can't find no one else to be champion right now. So now Roman has both belts. He only wrestles on fucking SmackDown every blue moon. So USA is like, we want a champion. Give the title to fucking Cody. Let Cody defend the WWE Championship every motherfucking Monday if he wants to. Who cares? Let Roman defend his SmackDown Championship whenever. Stop mingling fucking champions. You don't see the AFC and NFC mingling their fucking their teams every fucking week. You see an AFC champion, an NFC champion, and then you see the Super Bowl, right?
The Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, we have the AFC North. Let's let the AFC North and the NFC North fight. Like every week. Let's let the Dolphins, let's let this player go over to this team just because. You know, stop that shit because you keep talking about there's a brand split. Well, then motherfuckers are just going back and forth. It makes no. You might as well have one long 5-hour show.
You could have. You could have. You. Sorry, I know Claudia was speaking. Say what you said again, Claudia. Why does this happen every time? It's so weird, right? It's the second time now. There must be like a really bad delay or something.
Really bad delay.
He's timing out. Like he'll be here, then he'll time out. Like he's gone.
And he always says something when somebody's talking, and then I go, "What'd you say, Claudia?"
You know, I think that Roman ended up getting both of the titles to really make people hate him that much more. Just so he could really take this whole tribal chief thing and head of the table, and I stack him and pin him and give him those bragging rights to make him that much more of a heel. And it worked. You know, and it worked. But as we've said before, now you kind of painted yourself into a corner. Because what should have happened is Cody Rhodes should have been talking about the title that his dad should have won,
and then cried.
He just went ahead and challenged for that. Or him and Sammy they should have been like, well, let's make it a triple threat match. And then someone goes, nah, why don't you just, you go for the heavyweight championship and you go for the Universal Championship. I mean, whatever. I mean, how you can write it so many different ways.
Or you just have it night 1 versus Sammy, night 2 versus Cody.
That's what I'm saying. Do a night 1 and night 2. I mean, I honestly do believe, though, that if Cody hadn't gotten injured, he probably would have been champion by now.
Yeah, he would have. He most definitely would have.
Because
probably last year's SummerSlam.
Yes.
Because, he wouldn't have been chasing it for 9 months.
Right.
Because that would
I want to answer Punk 845 said that. Can you honestly name who's it friend? Because that's going to tie into my last point on this whole thing.
Around the time we listed all the tag teams.
Gunther has only been on SmackDown. Theory has only been on Raw since he won the United States Championship. You've got like a bunch of middle people, like Akira Tozawa only wrestles on Raw. He's never wrestled on SmackDown.
Both Garganos haven't gone to SmackDown.
No.
Right. You've got Asuka. Asuka's only on Raw. You've got Hit Row only on SmackDown. Baron Corbin only on Raw. There are actually, if you look down the line in the superstar list on WWE.com, you can find quite a few people that are just on one show. really.
Yep.
Sheamus only on one show. You know, it's Chad Gable and Otis only on Raw. Now my point in saying this and pointing this out is to reiterate a point that I've said over and over again, which is it's fine for Roman to have 2 titles. It's fine for the Usos to have 2 titles. But it's not fine when people on both brands don't want those titles.
Yeah.
They're not booking. How many times have how long have Legado, that group, been on main roster?
Legado del Fantasma.
Like at least since like Survivor Series.
I mean, like after the Monday after Survivor Series.
So why haven't they said to the Usos, "Hey, you've got the SmackDown tag titles, and we don't go to Raw. We're only on SmackDown."
Okay, now wait. Before you go any further, they had done that. Like, remember, they had to defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against.
Oh yeah.
Who was it?
I think it was Sheamus's group.
No, it was Imperium. They defended the belts against Imperium on SmackDown, the SmackDown tag belts, and then the Raw tag belts against Sheamus and Drew.
Correct.
Remember, they were like, Friday we defend the belts, Monday we defend the belts, right before
the tag team tournament.
And they did that one time.
Yeah, exactly. That's dumb.
All of the tag,
which means they can do it again.
Yeah,
but they can do it again. Absolutely. But when are they going to do it again?
Well, so you got to remember, I mean, this was all a setup for going to Mania and we're assuming KO and Sami Zayn challenging for the tag team titles. And then they might split them up.
Hopefully, split them up.
It's if there were more, like they had here and there, there was like a list came out the other day. Somebody put like all of Roman matches that he.
Know who wasn't on that list? Know who wasn't on that list? Bray Wyatt.
He never faced Bray Wyatt.
Exactly. He was never pinned.
Oh, well, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
I wanted at that SummerSlam and that triple threat. And then Bray never, I think Bray, he was released after the WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was at Payback where he never got pinned in that match.
Yeah, so it's just like, why are there so many people on both shows and nobody wants to go after the titles?
Because we're scared.
Well, Punk makes a valid point here. What they should do is unify the titles and do what they did in 2002. And I remember that because we had the WWE champion and then we had the world champion, and they unified the championships to make it the undisputed world champion. And Brock Lesnar was champion. He had to go to both Raw and SmackDown.
Totally fine with that.
The only problem with that is this. Back then, guys like Brock was happy to wrestle on both shows, and he had 2 separate challengers on each show. So it's like, I'm defending the title against Julian on Raw, and then I'll go ahead and defend the title against Shane on SmackDown, and then fuck it, I'll go to NXT and defend it against Drew. That's the way the champion should be. The champion should be going place to place to place to place. Like when Sasha and Bayley were the women's tag team champions, they went everywhere. They were, in my opinion, they were the only real world champions. Because, quite honestly, you can be an independent wrestler and call yourself the world champion of Portland, the world champion of fucking Dallas, Texas, the world champion of Stanback, Alabama.
Dallas,
you know what I'm saying? But if you're not going outside your radius, you're not the champion. You're the local boy. So the SmackDown Tag Team Champions and the SmackDown Championship, which is the Universal title, should be defended on SmackDown. The Raw Tag Team Championship and the Raw Heavyweight title should be defending on Raw. And if you hold all those belts, your ass best to be on all the fucking shows.
Yes. Yeah. Especially NXT.
And just like back in the old days, if you read Pro Wrestling Illustrated, you had the WWF, you had the NWA, you had the AWA. Those three major conglomerate groups had a world champion, and they had a top 10. And that world champion defended the belt against the top 10 contenders. So back in the day, there was always a fucking contender for a championship. With Roman, there's nobody that the WWE has built up that you can feasibly see beating him for the championship. Cody, are they really built? I mean, let's call it what it is, man. Let's just be real honest. Are they really building Cody up as a guy to beat Roman? If they were, Cody would have gone through the whole bloodline to get to Roman. Like back in the Horseman days, you want a shot at Ric Flair? You had to beat Ole Anderson, Iron Anderson, Tully Blanchard, everyone of them, Lex Luger. You had to beat all those guys to get a shot at Ric Flair, right?
There is one out. There's one caveat to that, though.
Yeah.
No one else won the Royal Rumble. Cody won the Royal Rumble. So he gets like, oh, well, he doesn't have to go through all the bloodline.
Yeah.
He has to go to get to WrestleMania. So, Kevin Owens had to go through the whole bloodline. In a sense, Sammy really hasn't had to go through the whole bloodline, but the story just was made out to be what it was, to where the whole bloodline just ended up attacking him afterwards.
But that's what the bloodline's supposed to be. The bloodline's supposed to be a mafia type group, where if you want to get a shot at the champ, you have to go through everybody to get to the champ. Now, granted, you're right. Cody won the Rumble. Big fucking
It's an
deal.
automatic main event.
Because what happens if the guy who won the Money in the Bank doesn't cash in until the Rumble? Remember, we had that happen too.
Yep.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, do you really think Cody has been positioned to be the guy that can beat Roman?
It's
right now, no.
And that's the problem that we have. We're 4 weeks away from WrestleMania. And the guy they got positioned that we all think, oh, he's going to win the championship against Roman. There's no fucking way in hell Cody looks like he's going to beat Roman. Because they made Roman untouchable.
You all think that, all right, cool. Then my obviously pick is Cody to win against
No, but
Roman.
But think about it. Also, remember, they built Sammy the same way. Sammy's not going to beat, she's not going to beat Roman. And then they had you believing, oh shit, Sammy might beat Roman. Oh my God, Sammy can beat Roman. Oh my God, Sammy can beat Roman. Squashed.
That's a really a squash.
That was a fucking squash too.
So
yeah,
they're hyping up Cody like this. It's almost like, oh man, I'm so sorry for firing you. You went out and you started your own company and you did this and you made more money on the indies than you made with us. Man, we're going to do you right and we're going to give you everything that you want because you're such a great guy and you're a much bigger babyface than this heel that we built up for the past 10 years where people hated him. We made him a babyface. People hated him, And so, like I said, when Cody got injured, if they had been feuding this whole time, I might say to you, oh man, yeah, Cody's the one. He's the dude. This is the guy who should go take down Roman. But it's almost like he got put on pause because he was injured. And oh man, you put on this great match injured. It was disgusting the way you looked. And your reward is we're going to let you keep your spot and get right back to where you were when you left. Whatever happened to get to the back of the line, pal?
Happened to Ali.
You know what? You're right, because especially what was Cody doing before getting injured? That
he was fucking with the other Shield member.
Right. So Cody didn't do anything to signify that he was main event level to go after Roman. And then at the same time, Roman wasn't doing anything to hype Cody as a main event.
Cody had the racism.
opponent for him.
So here's a great example. Champ, let me ask you this question. Let's say you and I have a feud and we're feuding for number one contendership for the heavyweight champion. So there's a champion, but I'm like, I'm number one. You're like, no, I'm number one. And so we go, okay, fine. We're going to have a best of 3 matches. And whoever wins the best of 3 is the number one contender. I win one, you win one, and then I win one. All right, I'm number one contender. Hey, man, great series of matches. I'm going to the gym. All of a sudden, bro, I tore my pectoral muscle.
Oh, fuck.
You should immediately be like, shit, well, I'm number one contender now. Not like, hey, just, go do some other shit till I get back and I'll do this number one contender thing again. Seth Rollins has every single valid point to make by saying, fuck you, Cody. This is my spot.
Well,
and that would be
I
one
would
of the best
say
things that they could go with.
I would agree with you on that if Seth actually won one of those matches.
Yeah.
Remember, Seth didn't win any of them.
He lost all 3 of them.
So, like, it's a little bit hot. Like, who was hot? If you can think back to last year around that time, who was hot besides Cody at that time?
Sammy.
Drew McIntyre. He got beat.
So, right. I mean, anybody who was really hot.
Hey, Drew, by all logical thinking.
So am I in no problem this time?
Who is the natural number one contender to the heavyweight championship?
Currently?
Period. Any given day.
If we go by like actual actual,
it's your intercontinental champion.
You're damn right. Because back in the day, the number one contender to the WWE World Championship was always the Intercontinental Champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like
the
world
number
champion,
2 contender,
the US
arguably, was your United States champion.
Yep.
But the number one contender, the heavyweight championship, has always been the Intercontinental Champion. So if anybody is going to run up on Roman, it should be Gunther.
Oh, yes. The Ultimate Regional Champion.
Which is what people have been asking for.
Yes.
I mean, quite literally, how many times has the Intercontinental Champion walked up into the champ's face and held his belt in his face as in, I'm one step behind you and I'm ready to step over you?
True.
Never. And I mean, Gunther never has.
Because Roman is scared of Gunther, and he knows it.
And I think the main thing is that the Bloodline storyline, as I said this on Twitter, I think last week, the Bloodline storyline has only ever been just that, a storyline. It's a movie within a wrestling show.
Correct. We make movies, pal.
And this would have been a phenomenal WWE Studios production. Probably the best thing that they ever could have come out with.
So look,
Julian said this once before, and it rings true now. The WWE is a show about a wrestling show inside of a wrestling show. That's exactly what the fuck it is.
Hey, Drew, let me tell you something. When all this is over, in WWE, back in the day, they'd release like a 3 DVD set. But when they release the Bloodline documentary for the network, that shit's going to be fire.
Oh, it is. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. It is going to be incredible. And the problem is...
And the thing is, like, the reason why you need the DVD set is so you can watch the actual matches in between where Roman was just like building his way to dominance and stacking them and pinning them and all that stuff. But when this is all said and done, it's like, okay, take this entire movie and condense it into a 2.5 hour special, if you will. It's going to be fire.
Yeah, because all of it is going to mainly be all of the backstage segments and all of the in-ring segments and all of the matches, the key matches that mattered. Because let me tell you something, that's where it's going to fall a little bit short, because how many of those matches in the past 2.5 years have actually mattered?
the magic of video editing does
I was
work.
gonna say the one thing that WWE does, they make movies.
Yeah,
They know how to edit that shit.
And remember, this is going to start from the Sami Zayn conspiracy theory when he lost his Intercontinental Championship to him talking to Paul Heyman and like where all that interweaves to get to the meat of the story. So I mean, you're going to see how far back it goes, and you're going to be like, "Shit, I wasn't."
I mean, it started with the moment that Paul Heyman was revealed as the special counsel to the tribal chief,
which was shockingly one of the most shocking moments in the pandemic era.
I called it. I told you that was going to happen, dude. The story was written all over the place.
And then Jey Uso, in Jimmy Uso's absence, thinking that everything was cool with him and Roman, and then all of a sudden Roman flips it on him. That was some phenomenal.
When they put this together as the documentary, it is all going to flow so well. It's probably going to look like a freaking movie.
It's going to look like a damn movie, a 4.5-hour movie.
You were watching motherfucking
Snyder Cut.
Yeah, Snyder Cut 2.
And then the
rise and the fall of the bloodline.
The
biggest problem is that after the main event Jey Uso angle, what was the next match that was the most important in the bloodline story? It was Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
It was Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso again.
It was gonna be Jimmy Uso, but Jimmy got arrested and then says join them.
Damn, Shane, why I gotta put my blast like that?
He was in jail. He was locked up in jail.
He got locked up.
He got locked up. He did some shit.
He did.
You know, the Uso Penitentiary and all.
Yeah. Now we know why it's called the Uso Penitentiary.
Yeah, exactly.
And then because Jimmy said, "Yeah, I ain't no Roman's bitch," and then after when he got out of prison,
after the pandemic WrestleMania of Smash 'em, Stack 'em, Pin 'em, I can't remember the next match of his that actually meant something before the following years. I think Royal Rumble or something.
I think the match that meant something was the fact that he did that Falls Count Anywhere match with Kevin Owens. The last man standing match with Kevin Owens handcuffed him to the fucking thing. He couldn't get up. And Paul couldn't find the key. He should have lost right there.
Yeah, but the referee was like...
Yeah, he visually lost that match. And the referee was like, oh shit. Oh, I gotta stretch my back real quick. Oh shit. Wait, that's my back. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Hold on.
Oh, ow. Ow.
Realistically, too much of the bloodline when it came to matches was very repetitive and kind of annoying because it was always, here comes the bloodline to interfere in this match. Here comes the ref bump to ensure that the ref doesn't see the bloodline helping Roman win. It's like textbook time and time and time and time again. The same exact shit.
And one issue that I have with that is that if you watch the Four Horsemen, you watch the Dangerous Alliance, you watch the Midnight Express, you watch the Heenan family, someone always cost the heel the match. Either Bobby fucked up and got caught up, Jim Cornette threw the racket in, and it wasn't Bobby Eaton who got it, it was Ricky Morton who got it, or Paul Heyman threw the cell phone in Dangerous Alliance, and oops, it was the wrong person who got the phone and they won. No one in the bloodline has seemed to fucking like, the bloodline can never fuck. They can never fuck up.
They can never fuck it up.
They can never fuck up because Jimmy will super kick the wrong person. But they still win. Like Sammy, all that shenanigans, they fucked up 3 times and the referee didn't see it, and then Roman just won. Like none of it made sense.
Yeah, the very last thing that I am going to say about this, I'm fucking long already. It's been an hour and a half of really just talking. The last thing that I will say, and it's not going to happen, unfortunately, but if it did, it would be, I think it would take the dynamic of the bloodline and move it into a new echelon, is Roman losing the titles before the Usos.
Oh, yeah.
If the Usos were double champ and Roman had no titles and he was still the head of the table, but he's not the breadwinners of the family, really, because the champions are the ones that are really they're the ones with the prestige. I would have loved to see that dynamic. We're never going to see it, unfortunately, but I would have loved to see Roman lose first before the Usos to finally get the Usos to go, we should be the head of the table.
Yo, Oops, we got to go. Where your money at?
Yeah, when you go, oh, that's
so
right.
Roman beat Braun Strowman and The Fiend in a triple threat match at Payback 2020.
Yep.
And then during that time, he defended the Universal Championship against Jay, Braun, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan a couple times. Then he beat Daniel Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania 37, stacked him and pinned him. He beat Daniel Bryan. He beat Cesaro. He beat Rey Mysterio. He beat Edge again. Right. He beat John Cena. He beat Finn Balor. He beat Finn Balor again. He beat Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel 2021. He beat Sami Zayn on Friday Night SmackDown, December 3rd, 2021. He beat Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble 2022. Oh, sorry. Seth Rollins won by DQ, but he retained the title. He beat Goldberg at Elimination Chamber 22.
Thank God.
He beat Seth Rollins, and then he beat Drew McIntyre a whole bunch of times. Then he took the WWE Championship from Brock at WrestleMania 38. Then he defended the title against Drew McIntyre.
Really?
Riddle. Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar at a last man standing match at
that was
SummerSlam 2022. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in a triple threat match on main event. Saturday night's main event. Drew McIntyre, Clash of the Castle. AJ Styles, Saturday night's main event. Logan Paul, Crown Jewel. Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble 2023. And then Sami Zayn Elimination Chamber.
Now stop that right there. Stop that right there.
You were saying Drew McIntyre. I didn't realize you were also counting live events.
Yeah,
he has defended the championship 17 times against Drew McIntyre.
But not once on AJ Styles.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it's like so Drew, I'm looking at the sheet and I'm looking at the column where he defended the title. And literally it's let me go to the bottom. So Drew McIntyre at a live super show, Road to WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, Road to WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre live show. Drew McIntyre live show. Drew McIntyre live show. And then WrestleMania 38. And then after WrestleMania 38, it's a Saturday night's main event. Then a Sunday Stunner. Saturday night's main event. Sunday Stunner. WWE Live in the UK, and then WWE Live in France, and then Saturday night's main event. Have there been that many Saturday night's main events?
Yeah,
live shows. That's what they are.
I guess.
House shows.
And then it's Sunday Stunner, Saturday night's main event, Sunday Stunner, and then finally against Riddle on SmackDown, and then Saturday night's main event, Drew McIntyre,
17.
And then Brock Lesnar, where he picks up, Brock Lesnar, last man standing match. Then Drew and Sheamus in a triple threat match.
18.
Saturday night's main event in Canada.
19.
Drew McIntyre, Clash of the Castle. And then that was it.
That is 20 fucking championship defense against Drew McIntyre alone. 20.
That's
Jesus, fuck.
But amongst those 20, you get an AJ Styles, you get a Riddle, You get a gold
still, I don't think in the history of me being the North American champion, which I'm close to 600 days, I haven't defended the title 20 times against the same person in the whole fucking time.
Really?
20 times. Dude.
And so what it's going to look like now is...
The numbers don't lie. We're getting the 3-man band.
It's going to look like Cody just walked in off the street and is like, hey, I'm champion now.
Yo, man.
I mean, quite honestly, for as good a match as Logan Paul had with Roman Reigns,
that was
surprisingly good match.
It was good.
Logan Paul should be like, hey, what about me?
Yeah. What about Raven? What about me?
Logan versus Seth is going to be phenomenal. Don't care what people say.
Sammy, what about me?
So
now I will say this: Sammy had no legitimate claim to a title shot.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. That was for the fans. That was for hyping up Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
That's from Montreal.
But Gunther, absolutely.
Gunther, Sean,
fuck all y'all. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. I done beat the shit out of each and every one of you.
I mean, dude didn't come in number one.
Let's go.
Slap
dude came in number
bitches.
one. Slapped 29 other motherfuckers. So he did that.
He did that.
Let's do this. Let's go take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Wrestling fans, I beg you not to be fucking stupid. Like,
wrestling fans, please don't be stupid.
Please don't listen to this response. Backup Hangman tweeted that the MVP Brock segment was not good and took up too much time, physical payoff, and was a waste of Brock at WrestleMania. And then
that made it wrong.
This fucking dork on Twitter says, not Backup Hangman, so in a quote tweet response to Backup Hangman. I mean, it's not that serious. Not every match of WrestleMania is going to be exciting.
Let me ask you this. Wrestling
Are you
fans.
Fucking kidding me?
Wrestling fans who are smart to the business. Do you masticate 3 times a day? I mean, do you eat? Do you chew 3 times a day when you eat? Because I mean, that's that's what mastication is.
Not every match of WrestleMania is going to be. It's Wrestle fucking Mania. What is wrong with
I'll
you?
be excited for almost a Brock Lesnar. No one
It's
can
the
stop
Super
me
Bowl
about
of
that.
wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole fucking purpose of WrestleMania is. People are dumb. Okay,
I just want to be like Julian Driver. Is that so much ass?
People are dumb. This is why I've been off Twitter the last couple of days.
White people.
Let's get to this Raw. Let's get to the rest of Raw. Let's talk about Chad Gable in an incredible match against Cody Rhodes.
Slap. I enjoyed it.
True.
I'm sure it was wonderful. Actually, the one part of it that I saw, which I actually found funny, was the moment where Cody went to the outside, and I don't know what the whole context is, but he went to the outside, and Otis was looking out at the crowd, and they had that little interaction. That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. And May Spawn trying to get abducted by Dexter Lumis. How dare they do that? God damn it. God.
But I'm going to lie, and I'm going to tell you this match was great.
It was really great.
Julian.
Okay. This is just based on my own preferences.
The pause.
If Otis is getting jobbed out and Dexter Lumis is involved, I'm going to hate it.
Oh, wait, Dexter. Wait, you weren't. I thought Shane was kidding about that.
No, that actually happened.
Oh my God, why?
Oh, how dare they do that to him? Mace Law, why?
Claudio, what are your thoughts?
Oh. I share the sentiment of hating anything related to Dexter Lumis.
Dude, you could bring back The Rock and Stone Cold and have them verbally sparring back and forth in just the greatest nostalgia segment ever. And if Dexter Lumis shows up, it's going to kill it. Just tank it. Even if they sat there roasting him, it would just be horrible because he's there.
Dexter snatches The Rock into a sea of the audience. I'm flipped dark.
I would much rather listen to Swerve Strickland rap his latest album.
Oh,
watch that shit.
Man. How was that?
Damn. I do not subscribe to that. I like Swerve. You know what? To each your own. To each your own.
Honestly, Otis should be recruited by the models and Shaq.
No.
From team with Gable Stevenson.
No.
Really willing to double Gable.
Gable Stevenson. Get that.
You know what?
Trash.
I'm really surprised. Did nobody here? We didn't even discuss this at Elimination Chamber when Hit Row was trying to get heel heat by roasting the crowd.
That didn't work.
I mean, was that like so bad? We're just everyone just kind of just.
Hit Rows just sucked. Come on now, mid row.
It's like that Tank Abbott match. Like
this was a very interesting storyline with Otis, I should say.
Otis.
In the Maximum Male Models.
Otis has a new girlfriend or has his eye on a new lady?
Oh, yeah.
Shit row. That's true. Ever since Top Dollar eliminated himself from the Rumble, he's been a butt of all jokes.
Michael Cole got all the jokes on Top Dollar.
Yo, Michael Cole, bro, he's got some balls because he was talking mad shit. Michael Cole. He got jokes for real.
Oh man, I love Michael Cole when Vince is not screaming in his ear.
Honestly, man, this Raw was a 5.5. Smack dead in the middle, bro.
You know what? I'm going to give it a 6.5. It had high spots and low spots.
Yes.
And some of the low spots is what really Dexter Lumis dragged it down. Otis.
Dexter Lumis dragged it down.
Otis patiently waiting in position for Johnny Gargano to hit a tornado DDT or hit that DDT on the side of the rope, on the side of the ring was it's disappointing for both those guys because Gargano's better than that and Otis is better than that. But Otis is like, let me just look to see if my shoe is tied real quick.
There was a spot.
So that was a down part.
Where Otis I thought said, the MVP Brock, like out loud, Otis said, "Kick me." I was like, "What?
What are you talking about?"
The MVP Brock segment was everything that you thought it was going to be, so it delivered.
I loved it.
What are we drinking? We're drinking White Lightning.
White Lightning.
Okay, MVP's got to spit it in his face, and now Brock's got to keep his that. You know, it's the old Stone Cold thing. What? You don't drink beer?
What?
You want to share a beer with me?
What?
I mean, fuck, he gave Stacy Keibler a stunner for that shit.
That was funny.
True.
That was funny because she took your better Vince.
The Bloodline and the primetime players. What the fuck are they called?
Millions of dollars.
I was like, it wasn't that bad. I thought the lead up in the setup was,
sir. It's
but
pronounced.
No steak.
And he's gone again.
I can see his lips moving, but I don't hear anything.
He's gone again. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Okay.
Get better.
But you know what? The biggest thing that we've always talked about are what are the stakes and why is this happening? So the Street Profits weren't going to wrestle for the titles because, you can't defend for the titles if only one half of the champions is here. I mean, you could, but you're not going to. So there was no stakes in that.
Stakes.
The Maximum Male Models, was that like Otis's tryout to become a model?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be a model, man.
And he lost, right?
Yep.
Chad Gable lost again too, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Cody Rhodes. And I mean, oh wow, now he's got to be number one contender for the title. No. I enjoyed Asuka and Carmella.
That was good.
Okay. I gotta talk about Carmella real quick. I loved her viciousness. I loved how she came out, how she hit her finisher on Asuka. You have a roll up. Carmella's gotten better. But her backstage was better when she was back there with fucking Chelsea Green.
Yep.
That was funny.
Now we got her, and Corey Graves.
Poor Kevin Patrick got bullied so hard.
Kevin Patrick. Let's talk about Corey Graves for a second. Shout out to Corey Graves.
Oh, man.
For the best line of the night. When Dexter Lumis was pulling fucking Meswa over the thing, he said, "What is this, the NXT parking lot?" I fucking damn near died when you said that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Meswa, no.
Kevin Patrick, dude needs to go.
No, Corey Graves was kind of bullying him about Carmella. I'm like, come on now. You get it. It's your wife. You don't got to be mean to Kevin Patrick like that. Come on.
Kevin Patrick, he doesn't fit.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't fit at all.
He does not fit on
should
this.
Should be Byron Saxton.
Bring Michael Cole there. Bring fucking Pat McAfee, man. Come on.
No, Byron Saxton. It's always been Corey and Byron Saxton.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want Byron Saxton, but yeah.
What's wrong with Byron Saxton?
You talked in that. I know you're talking about something else, but I just want to say the Chelsea Green Karen stuff. I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit.
You know what? I take it as it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see if it can gain some traction.
I thought Bailey was supposed to be the Karen, technically.
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah. The Bailey's the Karen of SmackDown and Raw. We need a resident bitch for Raw when she's on SmackDown. I like the pairing of Chelsea Green and fucking Carmella together.
Yeah,
like that's a new toxic attraction. Main roster version.
Attraction.
Think about it.
There are no women's tag teams.
They're not.
They need to make some women's tag teams.
They're the least. That's the least amount of teams that they have, and it's got as many titles as the Raw and SmackDown tag team.
There was a bunch of them in 2017, 2016. That's when they should have made the titles, but they made them too late. You know.
Why is there an NXT women's tag title?
It shouldn't be. Oh man, we can talk about this shit for fucking hours, but let's not. Like I said, guys, what do you guys rate this show on a scale of 1 to 10? I give it a 5.5. Julian said you gave it.
I give it a 6.5. Yeah.
4.
Shane saying 4. Drew doesn't care.
I give it a dud because I didn't watch.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you very much for joining us here tonight on the Roundtable Person Podcast, Monday Night Mayhem, Monday Night Raw review recap. Make sure you guys tune in, click and subscribe, join us. It's real easy, guys. You can unlock a cool ass exclusive emote. We'd like to have you guys part of our community, man. It is so easy, it's so simple to be able to just download. Join. All you gotta do is go to your Twitch channel, go to your Amazon Prime, click on subscribe. Your Twitch channel is a free subscription.
You can do that. Is that free?
That's free. It's almost as free like getting Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yes. But make sure you guys join us on Wednesday at 7 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is
10 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. The reason why is because we're going to run it back with the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Pro Wrestling Trivia. You guys demanded it. You guys want to keep watching it over and over again. So many messages. Hey, can you replay it? Can you replay it? Well, come watch it live. Come participate. You might have what it takes to become the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Trivia Champion. Like me, 4 times.
You know, every time I start getting excited, I start thinking of Raid Shadow Legends now.
Wow.
Right. You can download on your phone, Drew.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say it right.
No, you didn't.
Raid Shadow Legend.
No,
there you go. Shadow Legend.
Raid Shadow Legend. Most #1 downloadable game on the mobile.
On mobiles. Yeah, man.
And to play Ronda Rousey and her giant fist.
Mister. Anyway,
please, I don't want that visual.
Yeah, 7:00. You can join us. You can also remain on the show and join us at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
11 p.m. Eastern.
That's
11 p.m. Eastern.
To watch the Roundtable recap of AEW Dynamite. Hopefully, Tony Khan is going to make a stupid ass announcement this week. But there's been some news about the Ring of Honor show that they taped.
Yeah, they taped it.
New Japan Pro Wrestling Television Championship match on that show.
That looks like a fun time.
That was a fun time. Yes, hear about that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. For the mixologist, for the guy in the chair, for Big Money Drew, for the guy who keeps vanishing, Claudio, we will see you guys on Wednesday. I don't know what the fuck that was, but goodbye.
Reach it.